Hey everybody, I really screwed up. So in my last live, I didn't have it. I didn't join my room. So now I got to do it all over again. Woohoo! That's the thing about being new to YouTube. So it's official. Jared Lasiak has been indicted by the state of Utah on 2 counts of. So I'm assuming he. Let's see. I'm assuming he was charged with 2 counts of molestation. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I can read with you. So basically what has happened is a family member of Jared's has come out to the public and basically posted a buttload of text messages between the two of them. I want you all to remember that he was between the ages of 12 and 16, probably, when this all occurred. And then you guys be the judge of how you feel about it. Hi, how are you doing today? So right now, I'm going to start reading some of this to you all. Okay, so the charges are charge one, would be R of a child, first degree felony. Charge two would be R of a child. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you can see what I'm looking at. And please, I'm going to do this really quick here. Okay, so let me scroll up again. So this is I'm not redacting anything on here because it is public knowledge, and I believe that, we should be able to see this. If you're being charged with R of a child, then you should be called out on it. Okay. So he's got two charges of the same thing. Apparently it happened more than twice, but this is what they're gonna say. The current judge in the case is Mandy Larson. The state of Utah, represented by Eric Butler, and the defendant is Jared Lysak. Jared was born on September 16th, 1975. The law enforcement agency was Ephraim City Police, and then it shows the officer, which is Detective Corey Krebs, and the agency is Sanpete County. So, showing that the violation date happened, so it happened on 10/1 of 92. And like I said, his birth date is back up here. Well, 1975. So he's 45-ish, 46-ish years old. So that's the charges that he has against him. So that's not a good thing. I'm going to go here, and this is what's going to start it all. Okay, this is going to be, this is directed to him from his family member that he basically molested when she was a child. She was between 9 and 10 years old when this happened. It says, do you feel better as a person doing things like this? Does this make you feel less like like less of a child molesting monster parading around in human skin. There is no forgiveness for what you did to me in my home in Utah, Grandma and Grandpa's house in Las Vegas, and right above Grandma and Grandpa's head in their very own truck. The rest of the family didn't turn you in when they knew better, and I was just a child. I did not know better. And yet you're still welcomed at family get-togethers or like my grandfather's funeral while in the parking lot getting ready to get out of the car and attend, I see your face and become so violently ill I couldn't even attend. I had to drive down the street to the CVS and watch it all on via Zoom. All these people may be calling you a hero and saying that you're doing such great things, but we both know the truth about you, and you're obviously not ashamed of your past. But I'm also not ashamed of my past, and I have a voice and I use it as much as I possibly can. Your secrets are not hidden. Okay. So that was sent to the AWP, which is Adventures with Purpose Support Team. Um, then Jared responds with, I'm so very sorry for the things we cannot change. It is unfortunate that the LASIK, I'm going to say LASIK. I'm not sure how you say the names, and I don't know what the next name is at all. So I'm not even going to say that name. Lineage experienced the shit that you and I and many other cousins were brought into. Like yourself, I was once a victim of multiple people, both in and out of our family. It is unfortunate when families like ours experience, and I'm going to go to the next one here. So it is unfortunate when families like ours experience molestation. Many of us cousins got together to acknowledge what had happened in our youth and made a pact to put an end to it and to protect our children from anything like that ever happening to them. I've tried to apologize to you and have an open conversation with you about it to answer any questions you may have. The first time I apologized to you, I am sorry for the way that it was handled, for I was under the impression that your mother knew and felt that it and that I felt it was appropriate at the time to have a conversation with both of you. So I guess she was like a teenager when this happened later on, and he went to her mother to tell her, what had happened. And we'll get to that a little bit later. I guess it embarrassed her. So she kind of got upset. He says, I did not mean to embarrass you or catch you off guard. The second time I tried was not clear. Okay, so let me go back for a second. So he tried to have a conversation with her to basically apologize to the girl. But there's a little bit of narcissism getting ready to happen here. So just listen. I did not mean to embarrass you or to catch you off guard. The second time that I tried was not to clear my own conscience, but to help you heal and help with any struggles you may have been having, as many of us had to learn how to overcome and move forward. You hang on one second, my dog's jumping up here. Get up here. You essentially told me to go F myself and told me how I had embarrassed you the first time around. I am sorry. My understanding is that other cousins also have tried to have the same conversation with you. We are all now adults, and it is healthy for us to acknowledge and address those unfortunate circumstances from our past in our childhood and adolescent years. Okay, so he's starting to apologize to her. I'm not seeing it as a real sincere apology. If you can hear my dog in the background, she snores. She's snoring. She's like right here. I have eight little chihuahuas, but this one behind me has a real bad nose problem. So anyway, she's back here snoring. So this is him still apologizing, kind of. while there is a lot of shit that has happened throughout my own life personally, from molestation, abandonment, growing up in foster care, and other shit along the way, I would not change a thing, for it has made me who I am today. He wouldn't change anything. He wouldn't change the fact that he molested his cousin. You know, he wouldn't change the fact that, um, that he was molested, because it made him who he was today. That seems a little stupid. I cannot apologize for others for anything that has happened to you in your life, but I have done my best to acknowledge directly with you my own mistakes. I hold no secrets as to this with my own parents, with grandma and grandpa, and with your mother and my own wife and children. I've even discussed publicly about my situation and the unfortunate stuff that has happened within families. Do we pinpoint the LASIK and whoever lineage, or do we pinpoint Mormonism? Okay, well, right there to me, okay, this is where I'm going to stop it. This is, you don't pinpoint a family and say, oh, well, because my dad molested me, I'm going to go molest somebody else. No, that's not how this works. Speaking from a person that was molested most of her life, and you don't blame it on the church, okay? You are responsible for your own actions. If you decide to molest somebody, that is on you. Just because you are, just because you were molested doesn't give you the right to touch anybody else, okay? I was molested. I didn't go out and molest other people. That's completely wrong. So for him to have said, do we pinpoint our families or do we pinpoint the Mormonism? No, you pinpoint yourself, motherfucker, because you're the one that's out there molesting your own damn cousins still, even though you know that it's wrong because it was done to you. He says, I do not have an answer. There is no way for me to understand the hatred or resentment that you must have for me over 3 decades. And right there again, okay, he's deflecting. He has no understanding of the hatred that she must have. But dude, you just said 5 minutes ago that you was molested too, so how could you not be having hatred towards those people that molested you? And you can't sympathize with her for the molestation that you did to her? That makes no sense to me. I don't get it. I think you're a narcissist, and I can't believe that you would, belittle her basically like this. I heard about your driving into the cemetery a few weeks later. Trust me, had I known that you had a desire to be there and that I was the only reason keeping you away, I would have 100% gave he means to say gave up my time to do what I could to avoid the ceremony so that you would feel comfortable and have your time with grandma and the rest of the family. It is your decision and your choice if you ever want to accept my apology. Damn right it is. It's hers. But you need to own the fact of what you've done. And you're not. You're blaming it on your family and what you went through. Okay? Stop playing the blame game. Own up to it. Put your big boy panties on and say, I did this. I'm sorry. I did it. Okay? That's what he needs to do. That's why she's so pissed. That's why she made this public. And that's why you have indictment charges against you right now, you dumb fuck. Ugh. I just cannot with some people. It is your decision if you ever choose to want to accept my apology. I've made peace in my life with all the bad things, including this situation. Well, good for you, Jared. Good fucking for you. If you ever want to discuss, I am always available to have that conversation with you, either in person or over the phone. Sincerely, Jared. Okay, that's great. Wonderful. Lovely. I seriously get why this girl is so pissed off. It's like he did this, okay? And he just does not care enough to come clean about it. So she replies back, if you truly want to apologize, and pay for your actions. And this is what I would say to him too. Walk into the police station with me, confess your actions, get it on record, and have yourself registered as a sex offender that you are. My only regret in life was not being as open about you and your abuse to anyone and everyone who would listen like I am now, and turning you into the police like you should have been. I don't understand how you can try to get me to sympathize with you and your past issues. Not all not at all. It angers me twice as much to know that not only did you know firsthand the torture that you were inflicting upon me because you experienced it yourself, that makes you an even bigger monster than I have had pictured in my mind. Absolutely disgusting. You're an emotional vampire. I noticed all the therapy terms you used in your message, typical narcissism at its best. How somebody could ever come to peace with damaging such a young, innocent human being is beyond me. Proof of a completely broken mind, assuming that there would be any kind of peace after those types of actions, or that peace should even be deserved. You are a pedophile. Do not act like you were not old enough to know what you were doing to me during the ages that you were. You could have been tried as an adult at that age and should have been. And as to the comments about my life and the things that have happened to me, I don't know who or why you're even discussing me with, but I can guarantee you that nobody really knows anything because just like your situation, I've kept my mouth shut until recently. And I don't talk to any of the family, despite what other, as you say, cousins have come to you and said. So be a real man, turn yourself in, and pay for your crimes, or continue to be the small, sad, mental midget that couldn't keep his libido under control and blames it on his past. Amen, sister. You go, girl. Is this the same one? Let me see. I think this is the same one. Yeah, that's the same one. So we're going to go down here to you. Boo. Um, so I get her. I understand exactly how she feels. Okay. Um, Now he's going to try to minimalize it. Okay. Unfortunately, your desire to have a 46-year-old male live the mistakes of a 12-year-old is simply not realistic. Okay. He was 12 years old, he says in this. Later on, you'll find out that he was actually a little bit older, and he's kind of trying to put this in text messages like he was a child too. He's actually between the ages of 12 and 16, maybe 17, when this actually all occurs. Um, thank God we are not forever judged by our actions as youth, and I'm grateful that many of us cousins acknowledged and stopped those sins which happened to us and those sins we once committed as a result of grooming. It is healthy for you to now be open and talk about the past. As a full grown woman in your early 40s, you are able to be commended for facing and standing up to those actions which happened to you in your past. Spread awareness. This is the only part that I agree with from anything that he has to say. Spread awareness, stop the cycle, as we cousins within the family have for our own children and grandchildren. Protect your own children and grandchildren as we have to help the world become a better place. That statement right there is the only freaking thing that I agree with him on. The only thing. We live in a society that acknowledges the mistakes made in the past, accepting those who have proven to change. My life holds no secrets, and everyone in my office feels your pain. So while she's writing this to him and he's replying, everyone in the office is fucking reading this shit. So that makes her feel really, really crappy, okay? As you'll find out in the next message. They know me for the man that I am and not the mistakes of a 12-year-old who learned to recognize the cycle and break the cycle as many of us cousins did, okay? But you still molested her, Okay. You didn't break the cycle before you started it. You were younger and not ready to yet to accept my apology and recognize the steps we made for future generations to protect them. I hope you can one day find forgiveness and peace. Feel free to have any last words, for I will not respond to any further attacks as to my character today based upon those actions as a youth. Should you desire a healthy adult conversation as to the past, I am open to help. You know what? You piece of shit. You fucking molested your cousin. And she has a right to call you out on it. And that's why you have charges on you today, because you're not man enough to say, I am so sorry that this happened. And if I could change things, I would. You know, he wants to blame it on the church. He wants to blame it on the family. He's Mr. Blame Game. You know, he's not the person, he's not the one that, you know, is really trying to come forward and say, I am so sorry that I did this to you. You know, instead, he wants to get defensive and sit there and say, you know, should you desire a healthy adult conversation as to the past? No. And she didn't attack him. She didn't attack his character. He's still a child molester, whether he was 12 years old, 16 years old, or 45 frickin' years old. He's still the same person. He's still the same child molester. Okay? So don't get it twisted. Okay. So now I just clicked on the wrong dang one again. Hang on. Ugh. Oh, and then down here it says, I'm not sure your relationship with Aunt Blank or your mother, but I suggest leaning on them, for they experience the same in their own adult or in their own youth. Yeah, I don't like this guy at all. He's a piece of crap. I did it again. Ugh. Yeah, he is. He's a piece of crap. I don't like this guy whatsoever. So here she says, this is her response back to him. Let's do some math here. I was 9 or 10, living in Utah, and you forced me to have S with you on my bathroom floor upstairs. You are 6 or so years older than me. That makes you older than 12 in Las Vegas. Okay, so that was in Utah, okay, when she was 9 or 10. So if he's 6 years older than her, it would make him 16, 15 or 16, okay? So he was pretty much, I mean, you got 16-year-old murderers out there that are tried as adults, so don't tell me he couldn't be tried as an adult in this case as well. And that's why he has charges against him right now, because he was of sound mind and he was 16 years old when it happened. He was not 12. And in Las Vegas, at Grandma and Grandpa's house, you were living there and you had your own car, a Volkswagen Beetle, and was driving it when it ran. So please stop making it sound as if you were a young child during the time you were molesting me. Maybe you started that young with others, but as you are not willing to face your wrongdoing in a proper fashion, then that is on you and you alone. Anyone who supports you and your sick delusional fantasy of forgiving yourself for the pain and suffering you caused and willingly and knowingly caused not only a child but your own family member, but I do not appreciate your admitting it all. Oh, well, but I do appreciate you admitting it all in writing. So basically, she takes this and she goes to court with it. And he says, his response to her was, "You're welcome. I hope it helps in your healing process, Jared." And it does, because now the little girl, now an adult, she goes to the courthouse and she files this. You know, she goes to the jail or to the police department. She files these charges against him. And his charges, like I showed in the very beginning, and I can show them again really quick right here. Let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. But she files these charges and against him, and good for her, good for her. She let me see if I can pull these charges back up here again. Not sure that it's gonna, nope, dang it. Let me see here. Okay. No. Goofy. Hang on. I'm new to this, so just be patient with me, guys. Okay. Okay, here's his charges again. He has rape of a child, first-degree felony, and apparently it happened October 1st, 1992. And his second charge is the same charge as the first-degree felony, R of a child. I know I've already said it once. And this one happened on January 1st, 1992. So she's only doing the 2 charges. This happened multiple times, okay? Not just twice. It's happened multiple times, according to the cousin. I don't know the cousin's name, but I do know that, how I feel about this is that he should pay for his actions, What do you guys think? Anybody want to comment? Comment! Do you guys think that he should have to pay for what he did to her? Or do you guys think that he is not supposed to be held responsible in this? Because he was so young. I think that, when you're 12, you don't know right. Well, let me take that back. When you're 12, you do know right from wrong, somewhat, but your brain is not fully developed, okay, to adult capacity, okay? If you can't have, if at the age of 12, you can't consent to sex, then you shouldn't be able to be charged as an adult, okay? In my opinion, okay? But she said he was 6 years older than her and he had a car. So he had to at least be 15, 16, depending on what your laws are in your state, where I'm at, you have to be 16 to drive, and you can't be any less than 15 years old to get your permit. So you can drive around with your licensed person. How old was he? Okay, Kelly, he was, let me see. She says that she was 9 or 10 and he says he was 12, but she also says that, okay, he was 6 years older than her. So if she was 10, he would be 16. So do you think that he should be charged as an adult, or should he be charged back then as a child because he was only, 12? Well, he says he was 12, she says he was 16. So I don't know. If you hear any growling in the background, we got another Don Wells. Yes, we do, girlfriend. We got another pervert out there. Another pervert. And what he does with Adventures in with Purpose is a great thing, but that doesn't make him not a pedophile. It doesn't make him not a pervert or a sick person, okay? And for him to sit there and blame this on the church or on Mormonism or on his family, it's sick. He's a narcissist. He doesn't want to hold responsibility for his actions. And I feel really bad for this cousin of his that had to go to social media basically and put this out there and let people know, that she was molested by him, But this is the only way that she's ever going to feel vindicated, is to have him basically charged with this. He wouldn't go in on his own and say, look, I did this to my cousin when I was this age. What do? I feel horrible. You know, had he done that, yeah, I think that she would be okay. Or if he would have actually gave a sincere apology instead of saying, well, the church, we're going to blame it on Mormonism. Okay. Cause apparently he's Mormon. Okay. So he says, should we pinpoint Mormonism? Should we pinpoint, his last name's Lasik or Lasiak. He said, should we pinpoint it on our lineage? No. Just because other people in your family molest others does not give you the right to go out and molest another person, okay, in your family. How fucking stupid are you? Okay. I was molested as a child for 6 years. Okay. I have never once molested anybody. That would be ludicrous to even think that it would be okay, or that it would be, I don't know. He blows my mind to think that he would respond to her like that and say, "Well, maybe it was because I was molested." Well, that's a bullshit lame excuse. I'm sorry. You know, you know right from wrong when you're 12 years old. And if you don't, then you need some help. You know right from wrong at the age of 16. You know that you should not be touching a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old inappropriately at that age. I don't know any 16-year-old, and I have grandkids that are almost 16. I don't know any 16-year-old that isn't. I mean, if you can drive a damn car, you should know it's better. You should know better than to touch another child. A 9 or 10-year-old. You should know better. And if you don't, you need help. Your parents need to get you to the damn doctor and get you some psych help because you're stupid. I don't know. Does anybody have any comments on this at all? To me, it's just, a bunch of crap. I think that he should have to pay for what he did to her. I think that he should have to. So what he did is he said, let me see if I can pull it back up. He said, to me, it seems like he's trying to blame religion or his family or, anything but himself. Right here. Let me share my screen with you again, honey. To me, it seems like he is because he says, let me get it here. Here we go. It says, do we pinpoint it to the LASIK? And this is his family names. Okay. Do we pinpoint it to the lineage or do we pinpoint it to Mormonism? I don't have the answer. and here he says, there's no way for me to understand the hatred or resentment that you must have for me over 3 decades later. But he was molested too. So how does he not understand how she feels? I mean, he can't be okay with what happened to him. So he knows he's hurting her, I don't understand it. Yeah, basically he's blaming his religion. He's blaming his family dynamics and his religion. He needs to grow up and take accountability, hold himself accountable for what he did as a child. That's why he has charges against him right now. If he would have, I know, because of being a victim myself, if my molester would have said, look, I'm sorry, I'm sick. I don't know what caused me to do this, but I am so, so sorry. If he would have just said that to me, I would have been more forgiving than if he came and said, well, it's just because, our family is fucked up that I did this. No, it's not. It's him. It's him. He needs to hold himself accountable. He needs to take accountability for it. And right now he's getting ready to, because he's been indicted. So, he's got a whole can of worms just opened up on his ass that he has no idea what he's getting ready to face. But he will. He will. Unfortunately, it took her this long to come out and say exactly what happened. But, I am very proud of her. I'm very proud of her for coming out and saying what happened and how strong she must be. I mean, imagine after all these years coming out and saying, look, you know what you did. And the family still accepts him for everything, okay? And that's what usually happens in these situations, kind of like the what is it, that 19 kids and counting thing where the son actually was molesting the other girls, his sisters, okay? They still accepted him. They still accepted him. They still shot the show, granted without him, but they still shot the show. The girls were still in the show. The mother and the father, they never turned their back on him, and I understand. But, and I guess they tried to brush it off as best that they can. Yeah, it is nasty. It is freaking nasty. It is disgusting. And it's disgusting that families like that, like 19 kids and counting, they still allowed him to be a part of the family. And I feel bad for her because, her family still allowed Jared to be a part of her family and go to the grandpa's funeral. And the grandpa, she didn't want to go because she seen him there and she was like, dude, I don't want to go up there. I don't want to be around him, Not that he would touch her again right then because she was an adult by then, but the fact that he was there and they were allowing him to be there, the fact that basically in her mind they chose him, okay, that hurts us, as a victim. My family did the same thing, and I think it's because they love us both and they don't know how to they don't know how to I'm gonna cry. They don't know how to protect the one that is actually being hurt. They want to keep their family together, even if it's broken so bad, like his is, like 19 kids and countings was, like mine is. The family just wants to keep the family together. And they don't want to say, oh, well, you're a bad person because you did this. You're a bad person. My cousin is a bad person for what he did to me. This girl's cousin is a bad person for touching her and doing the things that he did to her. He raped her. Okay. This is not okay. And yes, he needs to pay for what he's done. And I'm sorry. And yeah, I'm sorry that he needs to pay for it, but he does. He's done a lot of good as an adult, but as a young teenager, he still needs to pay for that. And I think that if he would have had the wherewithal in him, that he would have said, look, I am so sorry. I can't believe, I don't know what caused me to do this. Maybe I'm sick. Maybe I need help. And maybe if he would have got some help, maybe she could have forgiven him without having to go to court. But because he's such a narcissist and wants to play the blame game, I'm going to blame my family. I'm going to blame the church. I'm going to blame everybody but myself. I'm not going to hold myself accountable for what I did to her. I'm just going to keep on, passing the buck. That's why your dumbass is being indicted. Grow up, take accountability, hold yourself accountable for what you do in your life. I don't care if you're 12, you're 20, you're 45, hold yourself accountable for what you've done. I don't know. I'm getting very, very upset. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to go ahead and end my live. Anybody want to say anything else before I end this? I just hope everybody has a great day, and I hope that nobody has to ever go through any of this, and I hope that your families all stick with you if this does happen to you. Just know that you are loved, and there are people out there to help you get justice. I believe, yes, it was Oregon. Um, let me see 1 second, honey, and I will look it up again. I'm like shaking right now because I just know how this girl feels, and it just really hurts my heart. It really does. Um, and it pisses me off more than anything. It pisses me off because he don't care. He's trying to just pass the book and, oh well, so sorry for you. You know, just irritating as fuck. 1 second, let me look it up. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Yes, it was in Oregon. And well, it was in Oregon, and then when she was, so her state, I guess, is Utah. Robin, I believe you're correct. I believe it was Utah. I'm sorry. Um, wait, let's see. Yeah, it was Utah. Um, so yeah, it's just it's not a good thing. Well, I hope you guys, and I don't want to say enjoyed this because who couldn't enjoy a live like this for real, you know? But anyway, I'm gonna let this end for now, and I appreciate you guys all coming into my room. I'm new. I don't do very many videos, but I just thought that this was a video that is kind of close to my heart because, this has happened to me. Wow. That was the only state where the statute of limitations hadn't expired. Damn. Damn. That's crazy too, because I understand that he was very young when this happened. Okay, I get that. And kids don't know really what they're doing. Like I said, they don't have all their brain functions and everything. But if you can be charged with murder, adult murder at the age of 16 or 15, because there's 15-year-olds out there, like I said, that have been charged with murder as an adult, then they need to be able to charge him as well for an adult, as an adult in this case, And I hope his cousin feels vindicated. I hope she feels like justice has been served once this goes, Um, you wonder if they will indict Don, because this is very similar, you know, if Summer Wells, was ever found, or if the boys ever said anything to CPS, about their dad touching any of them. See, I don't know. Yeah, the emails are on Reddit. I just read a bunch of them, um, and that was what I was reading, the emails that are on Reddit, and they just broke my heart. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure about the Don Wells thing. I don't know what all happened to Summer. I follow it occasionally. Um, I am a mod for Tiffany Marie and I'm a mod for AB, but um, with the Don Wells thing, I'm not sure if he sexually molested her or not. I only know what Jody Jody Sue said. Oh, he touched his stepsister at 5 and he was 12. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Mary, I believe her name is. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I mean, it's the same damn thing. And yes, he needs to be held accountable for it, you know. it's gross. It's disgusting. And we grow up, we as victims, we grow up and we're afraid to have kids, you know. Yeah, you know. Um we're afraid to have kids. We're afraid to because we don't know, they say, "Oh, well, they want to blame it on the family," but I'm here to tell you, my whole entire family could have touched kids, and I never will. Never would, never will. It's disgusting. It's gross. I have 4 children of my own. Well, they're grown now, but I have grandchildren. I have 5 grandchildren from my daughter. And uh yeah, Kelly, he's not not good. He's a bad person. Um he is definitely a bad person, and I hope that justice is brought for Summer Wells, and I hope that he has to pay for the crimes that he has done. I don't even like saying his name because he's a sick effer. um, but yeah, he's just gross. I won't do um, lives about Summer Wells because I'm mad for people that do. So, but I do feel really bad for her and her brothers. I am so glad that none of them, I wish that she was found, but I'm so glad that the brothers were taken out of the home, and I'm so glad that, you know, they are not around him or the other people in that community anymore. But well, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I got to go make dinner for my husband. So if you guys have any other questions or need anything, um, you can email me at KIMMIREINER at yahoo.com. And you guys have a great day. Love y'all. Bye.